Welcome to the Write, Publish, Market podcast. If you're a business owner thinking a book would be a great marketing asset for your business, you're in the right place. Maybe you've already committed, even better. I'm your host, Jodi Brandon, book publishing strategist and partner for business owners, CEOs, and entrepreneurs, and 20 plus year veteran of the book publishing industry. On the Write, Publish, Market podcast, in addition to learning from me and other industry experts, you'll hear from other business owners about their experiences as we explore all facets of writing, publishing, and marketing a book that will help your business grow in ways you might not even be dreaming of yet. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, business owners. If a book is on your vision board for 2026, now is the time to get ready. That does not mean you need to start writing now. That does not mean stop everything and think only about your book. But it does mean getting some plans in place. And the reason for that is very simple, because a book is a big project. If you've ever launched anything, created a course, a signature program, anything like that, you know that these big projects require a project plan. They require you to have some plans in place in order for that creation to go smoothly. And a book is no different. So this is the time of year, the fall, when people start thinking about, what is next year in my business going to look like? What do I want my big goals to be? What is on that vision board? Whether you create a physical vision board or a digital vision board, or you only create one in your mind, if a book is on it, let's get ready to do that. So today I'm giving you 3 tips to start thinking about that project plan so that you can start the new year with them, sort of in place, and then you get off and running. First tip, number 1, plan for the long term. If you have listened to any episodes of this podcast, specifically earlier this year, I did a series of several episodes of sort of behind the scenes of my book launch. This is a long game. So you need to really have clarity around how you're going to use your book within your business ecosystem. If you don't do that foundational work, everything else after that point is really going to be a waste of time and effort, unless you somehow, get ultra lucky, which honestly doesn't happen that often. So you've got to plan for the long term and understand the role of your book within your business ecosystem. How are you going to use a book? Do the foundational work. Take the time to do that. This is something that I work on one-on-one with my book coaching clients, as well as during book planning intensive, VIP days. And this foundational work is it's so important. It shapes your entire process, not just the writing, but also the publishing and the marketing steps. So it's so critical. If you're not going to do that planning and foundational work at the beginning, you're really going to suffer for it later on. Hey there, business owner and aspiring or published author. Sorry to interrupt this episode. Just wanted to check in and see if you're subscribed to Coffee and Commas, my email newsletter, where I share behind the scenes, industry info, and much more about writing, publishing, and marketing a book for your business. Sign up at bit.ly/coffee and commas sign up. That's all lowercase. Now back to the show. Tip number 2, prepare well. This is not just jotting down a couple of things. This is really looking at what other launches do I have on my calendar next year? What projects did I think about maybe doing that would have to wait if I want to make time for a book? Because again, you're not going to find time. You have to make that time. Look at and /arrange for capacity on your calendar in your life. Are there things that you already have planned for next year? Business and life. I mean, vacations, kids, breaks from school, things like that, volunteer commitments, all the things that we think about when we're looking at our calendar, but think beyond just, the next month, because a book is a big commitment. It's going to require time on your calendar from now until, months and months from now. And that's not just for the writing. That's for, book marketing. That's for, book launching, all of those other pieces as well, not just the writing. But right now, it's the pre-writing and writing. So you want to build out a calendar that's realistic. Otherwise, again, it doesn't serve you. But there's those 3 big phases, writing, publishing, and marketing, that you have to take into consideration when you're looking at what you already have on your calendar. That determines what capacity you have. I always advise people, clients, anybody thinking about writing a book, when you're looking at that calendar, start with those non-negotiables. If you launch a course every February and every November, and you're not willing to move those, and I'm not saying that you should move those, I'm just saying those are non-negotiables for you. I have a volunteer commitment every July. That is a non-negotiable for me. So I wouldn't plan to launch something, say, in the middle of July or the end of July, knowing that I'm going to be out of office for, a 10-day block just before that. That wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't if you were launching your signature course in February. No matter how many times you've done it and it's, sort of on autopilot, it requires your time and energy and effort, right? So you wouldn't then plan to launch a book on March 1st if you're launching that course in February or that program in February. Number one, give yourself a minute. Even if you're an extrovert, give yourself a minute after a big launch, right? This is something that a lot of business owners have learned the hard way. Give yourself a minute. Also, think about cross-promoting. You don't want to constantly have to worry about, oh, well, I've got to talk about the course today. Oh, but I haven't talked about the book this week. Oh, let me talk about the book. But now not enough people are going to be, hearing about the course material. So you don't want to be, sort of muddying the waters. You want to be able to really just focus on one thing. And that's easier for your audience too. So think about, what's non-negotiable on your calendar already. How do you find capacity for a book project? If you prepare well, that will be easier. It will all sort of everything will flow into place, and the whole process, writing, publishing, and marketing, will all be easier. And then the third tip to prepare well for now is to look at your content library. Do that brain dump you hear me talk about all the time. Yeah, this one's a little more practical, nitty-gritty, this tip. But if you've got an idea of what you have existing that you can repurpose to sort of jumpstart your, book writing process, get yourself organized with a brain dump. That will make it easier to sort of jump in next year. These tips are not just for 2026. That's just the year that we're about to start, right? We're going to turn the page on 2025, fresh year 2026, but this really applies to any fall or any time you're preparing for, there's nothing special about January 1st, right? To prepare to take on a big project like writing a book. If you don't have a project plan in place, when it's time to get started, the whole process is going to be a lot more frustrating. It's going to take a lot longer, and you're going to end up spinning your wheels a lot and wasting your time and effort. And nobody wants that, right? The whole point of writing a book or, any of these other big dreams, goals, projects we have in our business is to get some ROI, is to see them working in our business so that we're serving the people that we want to be serving. So if you do these three things now, when it's time to start actually writing the book, you're going to be in a good place to do that. And just to recap, again, those three tips: plan for the long term, do that foundational work, get clear on how that book is a part of your business ecosystem, prepare well so that you can build out realistic calendars for each stage of the process, not, oh, what a dreamy calendar, but it doesn't fit in with your life at all and what you already have on your calendar. And then look at your content library and do that brain dump. I will put in the show notes a link to the free book brain dump exercise that I have, just to sort of get you starting to get organized. And, shameless plug here, I have a repurposing masterclass on my website. I'll link that in the show notes as well, that sort of walks you through exactly how to do this and, figure out how to get that organized with your brain dump so that you end up with a working table of contents. And then you really can start 2026, and fulfill that vision board by getting your book out there. So that is what I have for you today. I hope that it was helpful. Until next time, friends. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Write, Publish, Market podcast. I know just how busy business owners and CEOs' schedules are, and I'm grateful you've taken some time out of yours to spend with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, take a quick screenshot and share it on social to let others know you're listening. Use the hashtag WritePublishMarket to spread the love.